we're going to look at how we come about finding our percent equations. We're going to start with a percent proportion. And a percent proportion has a percentage listed on one side and your part and your whole number listed on the other. So the two numbers that we're comparing listed on the other side. The two numbers that we're comparing have some sort of relationship. Either it's an original price and a new price, or it's the original price and the difference between, the original and new price, some sort of relationship. And that relationship matches the percentage we're looking for. We'll get more into the numbers themselves later on, but I want to show you how to set up a proportion and percent equations using the idea of part and whole. So whenever we're looking to solve a proportion, find the missing piece, or if we're looking to see if a proportion is equal, we can cross multiply, where we multiply one number in the proportion by the other. Okay, so this is the butterfly method, cross proportions, whatever you want to call it. Okay, percent. My handwriting will get a little sloppy, so I'm going to switch to typing. So we have let's retype this. We have 100 times a part, and that equals the whole times the percent. Okay, so we ultimately want to get it so that one of these variables is by itself. We also want to get it so that the percent amount is written either as a decimal, because percent, we'll say 5%. The percent really means 5 out of 100. Okay, 5 out of 100. It can also be written as 5/100ths or 5 over 100. All of these are ways of writing 5%. So when we're in the percent equation format, we want our percentage as a decimal. And I'm going to show you how we come about getting it as a decimal, because right now it's written as a whole number, and the decimal portion of it is over here on the other side of the equation. So what we need to do is get the percent together as a decimal, but we also need to separate the whole on one side or the part on one side of the equation. Okay, so let's start with solving for the part. We're going to solve for the part. Okay, the first thing we need to do is divide both sides of my equation by 100. And that gets the part portion alone on the left side of my equation. Okay. And everything else is on the right. When I do this, whole times percent, and all of this is divided by 100. Okay. When I do this, I can divide either the whole number or the percent number by 100. And if I divide just the percent number by 100, then I'm getting my percentage as a decimal. So I'm going to rewrite this as part equals whole times, and I'm going to put a decimal point so that we know the percent value is written as a decimal. And this is the equation for finding the part. So percent equation for finding. Okay. So that's how we derive that percent equation. Now we want to find the whole. We want to find this amount. Okay. We're going to start with the same process of doing cross multiplying. We're going to divide by 100. But now our goal is to get the whole by itself. And to do that, I have to divide both sides by the percent. Okay? So I'm going to divide both sides by the percent. And when I do that, the percent moves over to the left, and it leaves the whole by itself on the right. And this is a percent equation for finding the whole. Okay? Where I'm taking the part number, I'm dividing it by the percentage as a decimal, and that gives me the whole number of my proportion. The last percent equation is finding the percentage. Well, this one's the easiest one because I can replace this part whole. Okay, I can replace this by just the percent. Okay, percent as a decimal because it's the same thing. And writing it out as an equation, part divided by whole equals percent. Okay, and this again is the percent equation for finding the percentage. Okay, part divided by whole equals percent. So there you have it, your 3% equations. Finding the percent, finding the whole value, finding the part value. And all of these equations were derived by our percent, our proportion. This is the starting point for everything. So if you can get your numbers or your problem into a proportion, you can solve it any way that you wish.